You average out the View hosts among the dumbest people on television.
Sonny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it and it's nothing
Just
there.
go for it. Yeah,
there's nothing there.
If you thought The View had seen controversy before, think again, because what's unfolding right now is on another level entirely. A first lady is taking on one of the most watched daytime shows in America. A lawsuit worth $100 million has just been filed, and Joe Rogan himself has jumped into the firestorm with some explosive words. This isn't just tabloid drama. It's a fight that could change the way the media operates, and you'll want to stick around because every detail only gets bigger, louder, and more shocking as it unfolds. The storm began with a moment of live television that spiraled into something far greater than the usual roundtable chatter. On The View, the hosts, never shy about tossing verbal grenades, turned their attention to Melania Trump. What started as light commentary quickly escalated into sharp jabs, biting speculation, and blunt remarks that many considered deeply personal. They didn't just question her time as First Lady, they questioned her marriage, her private preferences, and even mocked her handling of traditions like Christmas. To millions watching at home, it was just another fiery exchange. To Melania Trump, it was the line being crossed. She wasted no time in making her response known. While other public figures often release a carefully worded statement or quietly move on, Melania went straight for the jugular. A $100 million lawsuit, filed with intent and precision, not only to silence what she considered defamatory remarks, but to put the entire media industry on notice.
As you may heard, I filed a few lawsuits, and I'm in the court now because they accuse me of doing stuff that I never did in my life, and they wrote lies, and I will not allow that. I will fight till the end because I don't want that they damage my reputation and my name.
She framed her decision not as a mere reaction to gossip, but as a defense of her name, her dignity, and her reputation. And if the dollar amount wasn't enough to show seriousness, her determination to see it through certainly was. The segment that triggered it all carried an air of reckless confidence.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the First Lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the First Lady.
One host implied that Melania despised her role as First Lady, that she avoided traditional duties, and perhaps most provocatively, that she wanted nothing to do with Donald Trump himself. The suggestion that she refused to share a bedroom with her husband or even hated Christmas decorations wasn't presented as hypothetical musings, but as sharp, mocking statements. Some viewers laughed, others cringed. But Melania, ever protective of her privacy, wasn't about to laugh along.
She doesn't want to be the First Lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly. That's why I say allegedly.
The irony wasn't lost on critics when Joe Rogan weighed in. On his podcast, he didn't hold back. He tore into The View, not only for what he saw as a reckless attack on Melania, but for the hypocrisy of it all. He reminded his audience that not so long ago, both Donald and Melania were welcomed onto that very same stage with smiles, applause, and open arms. The whiplash, he argued, wasn't about values or truth, but about politics, ratings, and playing to a partisan crowd. His blunt assessment was that the show had abandoned any sense of fairness in favor of shock value. Rogan's words landed with force. If you average out the IQ of the hosts, he quipped, you'd still struggle to crack triple digits. It was harsh, unfiltered, and undeniably Rogan. His fans, unsurprisingly, lit up the internet with praise, turning his remarks into viral clips that spread across social media platforms like wildfire. The View suddenly wasn't just facing a lawsuit, it was facing a cultural reckoning, with one of the biggest voices in media amplifying Melania's side of the story. But beneath the celebrity soundbites and sharp-tongued commentary lies a far more serious issue: the legal heart of the case. Defamation is no small claim, and Melania's lawyers have made clear that this isn't about silencing criticism. They argue the comments crossed into factual assertions presented in front of millions of viewers, assertions that were false, damaging, and beyond the realm of protected opinion. If the court agrees, this case could redraw the boundaries of what daytime talk shows, and perhaps even podcasts and social media commentators, are allowed to say about public figures. The stakes couldn't be higher. $100 million isn't just a symbolic number. It's a sum that sends chills through the media world. A verdict in Melania's favor could force networks, producers, and even independent voices to tread more carefully when blending speculation with sharp-tongued critique. Suddenly, what once passed as edgy banter might be considered actionable defamation. And in today's climate, where a single viral clip can spread to every corner of the internet, the risk of reputational harm is amplified beyond measure. Of course, The View has long thrived on controversy. It's built its reputation on fiery exchanges, hot takes, and clashing perspectives that often go viral the very next morning. But this time, the show isn't just riding a news cycle. It's at the center of a courtroom battle with a former First Lady. For the producers and the hosts, the line between entertainment and legal liability has never looked thinner. What might have been seen as a throwaway segment could now cost them millions and reshape their future. And the timing adds even more intrigue. While Melania is filing this lawsuit, Donald Trump remains a towering figure in American politics, once again dominating headlines with rallies, investigations, and speculation about his future ambitions. Against that backdrop, Melania's case doesn't just add another storyline to the family's orbit, it demands attention in its own right. Some wonder if this is Melania's way of reclaiming control of her narrative, stepping out of Donald's shadow to assert her own boundaries. Others see it as simply the natural outcome of years of constant, often hostile media scrutiny. What's undeniable is how quickly and decisively she acted. Most public figures would let it slide or, at most, call out the show in a statement. Melania, however, went straight to court, leaving no doubt about her seriousness. By doing so, she's sending a message: there are limits, even for those in the public eye, and crossing those limits will come with consequences. In an age where gossip and speculation often bleed into fact, she's demanding accountability in the most direct way possible. Joe Rogan's role in this can't be underestimated. With one of the largest podcast platforms in the world, his critique doesn't just add commentary, it shifts public perception. His audience, millions strong, often sees him as a truth-teller against mainstream spin. By backing Melania and slamming The View, Rogan gave this story an even bigger spotlight, ensuring it wasn't just a niche controversy, but a national conversation. His framing of the issue, highlighting hypocrisy, political agendas, and the shallowness of shock-driven television, resonated beyond just his fans. It cut into the broader debate about what media should be. The legal showdown raises fundamental questions. Where exactly is the line between free speech and defamation? How do we distinguish biting commentary from harmful fabrication? And in an environment where ratings and clicks often drive content, can talk shows resist the temptation to cross that line for the sake of viral soundbites? These aren't abstract debates anymore. With Melania's lawsuit, they could soon be questions with real legal answers, backed by precedent that will ripple across the industry. What makes this moment so consequential is that it touches every layer of media. Television, podcasts, online news, influencers, anyone with a platform is watching closely. Because if Melania succeeds, the days of unchecked commentary about a public figure's private life may be numbered. That doesn't mean criticism will vanish, but it could mean commentators will need to weigh their words more carefully than ever before. And yet, there's another side. Free speech advocates warn that a lawsuit like this, especially with such a massive dollar figure attached, risks chilling important discussions. They argue that public figures, especially those as high-profile as a First Lady, must endure a greater degree of scrutiny and commentary. To them, what happened on The View, however distasteful, is part of the messy but vital discourse that comes with democracy. That tension between protecting individuals from harm and protecting society's right to robust, even harsh debate is exactly what makes this case a potential landmark. It isn't just Melania versus The View. It's dignity versus expression, privacy versus critique, and ultimately, the court deciding how far is too far. Even now, with the case just beginning, the ripple effects are visible. Media analysts are weighing in, legal experts are dissecting the filings, and networks are undoubtedly holding internal discussions about risk management. The conversation is already changing, and the outcome could cement that change for years to come. So where does this leave us? With a lawsuit that could reshape media ethics, a daytime show under fire, a first lady fighting for her name, and Joe Rogan amplifying it all with his unfiltered megaphone. It's a collision of law, politics, culture, and commentary, messy, dramatic, and impossible to ignore. And the $100 million question remains, what happens next? Will The View settle quietly to make the problem disappear? Will the court side with Melania and draw a hard line for all media moving forward? Or will this drag into a prolonged legal war that keeps the spotlight burning for months to come? No one knows yet, but one thing's certain, this isn't just another round of celebrity gossip. It's a battle that could define how we talk about power, privacy, and truth in the years ahead. Now, I've got a question for you. Do you think Melania's lawsuit is justified, a necessary stand against reckless commentary? Or do you see it as an overreaction that risks muzzling free expression? Let me know what you think in the comments, because this is a conversation that touches all of us, whether you're in front of the camera, behind a keyboard, or just following the news. And if you want to stay ahead of stories like this, make sure you're subscribed, because this saga is far from over. The courtroom drama is only beginning, and the ripple effects could be bigger than any of us expect. Stay sharp, stay curious, and keep watching, because the fight between Melania Trump, The View, and the media at large is one that could shape the future of public discourse itself.